Hey, this is David Beauchene, founder of The Simple Secret to Food Freedom, and today I want to talk about what is an addiction. A lot of people feel like they could answer that rhetorically without even thinking, but in fact, most people, when they talk about what an addiction is, in fact, they're just describing the symptoms of an addiction. We, for instance, don't have a yes or no, black or white litmus test to determine whether or not someone is an addict. If you go online and look up any of the food addict or drug addict or alcoholic tests to determine if you have some sort of an addiction, the way that they will determine it is based on the symptoms. Have you blown this much money? Have you wrecked your life in this way? Have you wrecked your relationships? So on and so forth. Then you probably have this mystical thing that we think we understand called an addiction. But in fact, what is an addiction? Why is it there? What is the composition of an addiction? Well, I believe that I can tell you what an addiction is. An addiction is two components. You have the physical and you have the mental. You have the understanding. And both are equally pivotal. But we focus mostly on the physical. So let's start there. Now, on the physical end of an addiction, you have to have something making a biochemical impact on you, whether it's something you're consuming or something you're doing. Basically, it's hitting your biochemistry so hard that it's making an impression on it. And once it's done, your body makes the effort to heal. But if you continue to hit it over and over and over again, it makes such an impact that when you stop, you get withdrawals. You get these symptoms of just the most deep dysphoria and discomfort and anxiety, and every bad feeling you can feel, everything that's alerting you that you need to do something different. The same sensations that would alert you to get warm or to eat food or to get away from danger. Now you're experiencing all these things because you've injured your system in a way that's sending out these signals of deep, deep distress that are intense, when all it is your body trying to build back from the damage that you've done to it. Now, that alone is not an addiction. That process of healing and withdrawal, as it's called, is not enough. What you need to have also is a delusion about the process. If you don't have the correct perspective mentally, you will perceive that healing process as a signal to continue to consume. Because if you continue to consume, your body won't have a chance to process and heal and send you through those awful withdrawals. And the thing is, even though we know that a lot of these things are absolutely bad for us, we continue to do it just because we're thinking off the cuff. We're not really oriented. We're just thinking off of our impulses in the situation. Basically, I'm going through pain without this thing. I need to continue to consume it. And we can agree that that's a delusional state to understand things that way. Correct? We need to let our bodies heal. That is optimal. That's what we really want to do. But even if we recognize that consciously, it's not going to be enough to overthrow that delusion that's created by the intensity of the physical circumstance. See, the intensity of the physical circumstance manipulates the conscious circumstance, and then they work together to create an addiction. So what my book, The Simple Secret to Food Freedom, does in terms of food addiction is it overwhelms your conscious understanding in a way that cannot be corrupted by the intensity of the physical response. Basically, once I've had the impact consciously that I need to have on your conscious mind, it's only going to interpret all those negative signals coming from your physical body in a new way, in a way that you understand intuitively that you're healing and that you're no longer in that process of just fighting not to consume that thing. It's not even a question. We go through lots of periods in life of deep discomfort that don't drive us absolutely mad, correct? I mean, when we need to go to the restroom, for instance, that's very uncomfortable. And if we didn't know what that was, and we didn't know how to resolve it, then that could drive us crazy. That could be some of the most uncomfortable sensations on the planet Earth. But do we all freak out and get distressed when we go to the bathroom? No. Sometimes, as a matter of fact, we hold it for hours and hours because we know. We know that all it is our body needing to go to the restroom. The same is true of the withdrawal symptoms that come physically after withdrawing from an item of consumption or an activity that's been impacting your body biochemically. The same thing is true. If we understand, really understand, not just tell ourselves, but really understand, have it embedded in our subconscious mind to understand that process of our body healing itself, then that process of healing, yeah, maybe it's a little uncomfortable, maybe it's a little off, it's not regular, it's not something we're really used to. But is it something that's going to cause us any kind of dilemma? No, it's not, because we'll completely understand it's simply our body healing itself. And once it's healed, that's it. That's long and short of it. The funny thing is, we in an addiction, tend to blow up both angles of it. We tend to think the healing period, will never end. It will. We also tend to think in our conscious mind, in our mental area of an addiction, that I'll never be able to get over it mentally. I'll never be able to get away from the need for this thing. You absolutely can. You can do both very easily. As a matter of fact, the mental side is even easier to do than the physical side. The mental side, you just spend a little bit of time reorienting your mind with the right key concepts, which in terms of food addiction, I can offer you with the simple secret to food freedom. I can lay the right orientation, and I can lay this simple key that will change your food life immediately, permanently, and easier than you could ever imagine. And then once you have that understanding in place, you'll have to go through a short period of you could call it discomfort, but really it's quite ignorable once you understand what it is. You can go ahead and just do other things. And while it ticks on and on, it's kind of like, have you ever had, I don't know, something in your, I don't know, something making a noise that you're not too crazy about. Like I remember when I went camping a long time ago as a kid, the rain dropping on top of the tent was it was a very distracting noise, but I wasn't going to stop the rain. It was going to rain on top of the tent. I was camping. And I got on with it. I went right to sleep, Whereas lots of times I think that if there's something, making noise while we're trying to sleep, we think, oh, I can't sleep. Well, you can. All you need to do is just understand that, yep, this is something going on. I'm just going to ignore it and let it run its course. It's not a big deal. This is how resolving an addiction can work. This is part of it. This is the anatomy of getting over it. And again, if you're suffering from food addiction, this is something I believe I can teach to you in my book, The Simple Secret to Food Freedom. If this is something that sounds interesting to you, go ahead and click the link I'll put somewhere on the video or somewhere below the video. It'll take you over to The Simple Secret to Food Freedom, and you can find out more about it there and hopefully make a purchase and hopefully leave behind this phase in your life that you don't need to suffer anymore. I think you've probably put enough money and enough time into this that you don't need to keep on struggling in this way. And I believe that I can offer you the key to escape, and escape permanently. So again, if that's something that sounds interesting to you, please go ahead and click the link. Check out The Simple Secret to Food Freedom. Until I get the chance to talk to you further, I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll be doing better real soon, and I hope that I will be an integral part in that process. Thank you.